Record. All right, here we go. Welcome everyone to the Bro Time Podcast. I'm your host Tyler Peters, and here on the podcast we talk about everything in general, God first, and everything else, but mostly engaging in conversation and getting to know our bros. So with me, I have Han Lee. Han, welcome, man.
Guys, Tyler, thanks for having me, man. It's truly an honor.
Yeah, yeah. So, first question I have for you. Tell me your testimony. Like how did you come to know Christ?
Yeah, so if we go back all the way, long story. I'll try to make it as short as possible. But my dad's a pastor. I grew up in a very non-traditional household. Coming from Korean parents who are usually the main religion there is Christianity, but a subsect of it would be Presbyterian, and that's what most Koreans are. So I ended up growing up Presbyterian, and then my dad went to seminary, and then once he did that, we went to a small Korean church right down the road from where I lived. And then after that, my dad became a pastor and then opened up his own church where I started going to that. Um, and English is my first language just because I've hung around with a bunch of folks, and Korean was kind of just spoken in my household. So I would always know about Jesus, because my dad would always bring it up at the dinner table, talking about it in Korean. So that's how I kind of learned about him. And then right after that, starting to move into middle school, high school around that age. I started to get involved with a bunch of extracurriculars, whether that be, show choir, and that's where I met Tyler. My brother was in band, so that happened. And I didn't do band, but I was really intertwined with it. And I was intertwined with my high school pretty much, and throughout middle school too. I tried to get involved as much as I could.
Yeah.
The conversation never really went to Jesus though. It just for me it was much more about being popular, I would say. I think it was a lot about my own pride and my agenda and what I should do, and nothing about Jesus. And I didn't really fully understand who he was up until, my dad telling me. So I know who he was, but I didn't know who exactly he was, and what he exactly did. I would just sing the songs, and it would just kind of, it'd be that, he died on the cross, but for our sins, and stuff like that. But I didn't exactly know what that actually meant. So going through high school, met this awesome girl. Her name is Sarah. And we had a really fruitful relationship, I would say. And it was good. I had a lot of good friends come about with that. And then moving on to my freshman year of college, I'll tell you that I did not put God first in anything. And I think we have to be with God first before we can have a Christ-centered relationship. And that was like the main goal of me and Sarah's relationship. But um, we didn't really do a good job of doing that. Or from my perspective, we didn't do a really good job of doing that. And it hurt her just as much as hurt me, because I didn't want to see her fall because of me. But as the man, you should be doing a good job to lead. You should be a follower of Christ before you love anyone else. So I think I did a terrible job with that. So that's truly my bad. But moving on to sophomore, junior year, let's say junior year, I started getting involved in Auburn. Really, really dug deep into all my things I was involved with. I ended up being selected with 60 other students for being an orientation counselor for Auburn. There are two second round interviews that I got, and it was during that time that 2023 year, at the end of 2022, where I really started to know about Jesus. I started to pray because my friends were like, "Hey, you should start praying." My best friend Alex pushed me to pursue a relationship with the Lord. The guys in my community group really helped me out there too. And just being surrounded by a bunch of God-fearing individuals is truly truly warming. And Yeah, so I guess that's kind of where it kind of dove into. A little bit after that, let's say the summer of 2023. Sarah was in Greece, I was here, and it's during that time where I was getting confused a lot because my feelings were being contemplated. I was wondering if I should carry on with this relationship or shouldn't, and I didn't really have any clear answers. And when it's like when you want to hear something, right? You know it's right in your head, but then you like say it out loud and you're like, nah, I'm just gonna push it off, brush it off. And that was kind of what I was feeling. So around June of last year, she got back from her study abroad trip in Greece, and we actually ended up ending things. And it's during that time, at April through September-ish, around that time where I really pursue the Lord. I took the time to like actually pray and I didn't know how to pray, but I heard that you should treat prayer as a conversation. So I started conversating with God. Even though it's a little weird just sitting in my room, just like talking to him like this. And then, I got so angry sometimes. I'd be throwing pillows at the wall, just not understanding what he had in store for me. Um, and the year before that, sophomore year, I was a mess. I was just trying to do everything on my own, trying to make my own money, do a future, like set up for a future I didn't really have. Like it was bad because it was taking a toll on me, but not only that, I wasn't putting God first in anything that I did. I think that was a big issue with that. So leading up to, let's say now 2024, New Year's happens. I meet a ton of great people. I took some time alone to be with the Lord. Really grew my faith, shared my testimony with a lot of other people, talked to them, and we just talked about God. And I find that the most joyful conversations, the topic is Jesus, and I think that's like the most important thing. I just find that more enlightening than anything else. So then January-ish is where I met my current girlfriend, Katie. We kind of hit it off, I would say, and we kind of talked. And she has made me better in a lot of different ways, and I'm sure I've made her better. And she would say the opposite, because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want me to get a big head. But we kind of grew together. But we we grew with the Lord first. I think that's important. And that's what happened. And disclaimer, me and Sarah are great friends still. Sarah is doing great. She's a LDP at there's a leadership development program at the church I go to, which is Auburn Community Church. And she got selected for that. And so she's going to be going through that for the year. But we're great. We're on great terms. We talk, occasionally whenever I see her at church. It's not weird. It's not awkward. And I think the main reason behind that is because we both love Jesus. And
Awesome.
she grew a lot in her faith, and I grew a lot in my faith, because of what had happened. In the moment, maybe I didn't think so, but later on, it was great because I found happiness in my relationship right now with God. I found great happiness with my relationship with Katie, my current girlfriend, and life is good. And then I actually um, just wanted to proclaim the good news of Jesus, and I got baptized in April. Got baptized in April, and that was great. Had a lot of people pour out their love for me, pray over me that whole week, and after. And I'm not going to say life with my walk with Christ has been perfect since then. I think things get harder after baptism, but um, I would say for the most part, I've done the best I can to be with Jesus in all aspects of my life. And going here forward, I mean, that's the main goal, have a Christ-centered everything. So I think that's important. But that's basically it. That's like the long, short version.
Awesome. Yeah. So, like, which brings me to my next question. Like, what has he been teaching you lately? Like, what has he been showing and teaching you?
Patience. That's
Uh,
the biggest one.
Same,
Wow.
same. Yeah.
I think, yeah, no, we're seniors now, and it's crazy to think about because I could blink my eyes and I could go back to my freshman year in some
Oh yeah,
ways, think
definitely.
about, yeah, like all the aspects. I'm sure you have a lot of good stories to tell, and I do too. And as much as I miss those freshman year moments, I never thought this is where my life would be headed. And um, I decided to, be like, you know what, God, you got it all. Like I can't plan anything out. It's not in my plan, it's your plan. You have better plans for me, really great plans, and I think that's where my life is headed. Instead of me trying to make all the decisions. Now, of course, Lord willing, he gives me great knowledge and wisdom, and things that I pray for come to fruit, come to life. But um he has done so much for my life, given me so many blessings, and patience is the biggest thing I think right now in the season that I'm in that he has given me a lesson in. Patient with, my job, patience with my school, patience with the future that I keep thinking about that may or may not turn out that way. Who is going to be my future? What friends am I going to have? Who am I going to marry? All that starts to play a, panic in my head, but I know when I like dive deep with the Lord, that panic just goes away, and I just stay patient and faithful.
Awesome. Yeah. Like I'm kind of there with you. Yeah. Like God's been teaching me about patience as well because yes, like I, I can tell from like how far like I've grown from freshman year to now because like when I first started, yeah, like I was really excited, like everything was going good. And so at first I went in as a theater major, and then I realized like that this was not for me like at all, and I was just so stressed. Like I dealt with a lot of stress like my freshman year, and I felt like I just wanted to just give up and quit. Like, well, I like pretty much every time, like when I stress about school or something, it's like I just want to fall out and just quit.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I talked with my parents and my friends, and like they were just encouraging me, and and God mostly was encouraging me, like just stick with it, keep going. Like He has me here for a reason,
Mhm.
and big because yes, like to begin with, I never thought about going to college like at all. And
Mhm.
but yeah, big game changer. And yeah, I'm really glad that he put me there. And because yes, like this wouldn't be happening like this podcast like what would have never gotten made. The movies that I've done with my friends like they wouldn't have been made, but or like the many friendships that I have there, like in the many friends and the many accountability that I have, and man, I would have missed a lot. But yeah, it's been really a journey, and so yeah, like I stuck with it. I changed my major to production technologies, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, tech
Well,
stuff and behind the scenes stuff at so I like we have this event called like we have like two events called Christmas Spectacular and Spring Spectacular. So for both Christmas spectaculars. I work backstage, and yeah, like we help move things on off stage, and we tape where the things go and stuff like that. But yeah, and then sophomore year was pretty chill. It wasn't that bad, and then this past year, the first semester went really well. Like I was an RA for the first time, and yeah, like it was really good, and I got involved, and then yeah, like I did interview for it for a second time, but they told me like I think like a few days later after my interview saying that I'm going in my senior year and there's going to be internships and stuff like that. I'm going to be graduating, things like that, and it's going to be hectic. So yeah, like it was pretty much God's time, but like I really enjoyed it and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what this year has in store. And but yeah, and but yeah, like the church I go to is Mars Hill, and like pretty much half of the people I know there go there. And
mhm.
yeah, and man, man, such a blessing, man. And oh yeah, I'm also the mascot there at the
Oh,
school.
nice.
Yeah, like Matt
Nice.
Graham.
Can you say that out loud? Are you allowed to say that out loud or?
I think it'll be all right. Like, well, I mean, like people will know anyway, like towards the end of the year. But yeah, like I was the however, like I will say, I was the Wildcat in high school for 3 years, from
Mhm.
sophomore year to senior year, and yeah, that was fun. But like I will say that the like the one at the school is so much better than the one in high school because it's
Oh, I
got
bet.
like it's got more headspace, and the zippers in the front.
Yeah, no fans though, right? That's the whole myth.
Like yeah, like but yeah, like with the Wildcat head, all I can see is out the mouth, and I can see about like this much, and you had to look up and look around like this, and that was ugh.
Yeah.
And the zipper was in the back. We had to tie a zip tie to the back to zip it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but yeah, fun times. Oh, and yeah, so yeah, like for those of y'all who don't know, like me and Han were in show choir.
We were
Yeah, yeah, like
for
is
a
there show
while.
choir there at Auburn? Like,
There is. I think you know our good friend Mary Cam Berg. She's in AU Singers. That's it's a big thing in Auburn. It's really
yeah,
hard to get into, and they travel all over the country doing shows. But she's doing that right now, and yeah, so we do have a performing show choir per se.
yeah, yeah. Like there's a bunch of ensemble groups. Like there's one like the Voices of Mobile, and they travel everywhere.
Mm,
There's a Southern gospel band called
mm,
like a Southern gospel group called Deliverance, and they're really good. But yeah,
mm.
and then there's Ramcore, there's Jazz Band, but yeah, there's like a bunch of ensembles, and they travel
Yeah.
like I felt like I'm not gonna. I mean, like I've enjoyed show choir for like in high school and stuff like that. Like all that
Mm,
was fun, and like the traveling and things like that. But yeah, and like plus like I was also in the praise band here at my home church,
mm.
and but yeah, like I felt like God like wants me to be more behind the scenes because like when we used to host those show choir things at the school and like we all work backstage and we move riders and things like that like
Yeah.
yeah, like we were like hosting, like I actually like that more than being up on
The show
stage.
choir. No, I hear you. Yeah.
Like yeah, like because yeah, like you're helping out and things like that. Like I felt like that was like God was telling me like this is it. Like yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
like I
good, man.
didn't
I'm happy for you.
but yeah, like I didn't know that at the time because
Mm.
but yeah, he's been so good, and he's yeah, like man, he's just been so good. Like that's just pretty much all I can say. And like he's been really good and really uh faithful and things like that. And like yeah, it's
Mhm. Very true. Yeah.
very
Happy for you, man. I'm proud of you. Good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. But anything else you want to talk about or add or something like that? I'm trying to think of something.
Uh, yeah, let's I know you dove into how your friends have been a big influence, excuse me, big
Yeah,
influence
influence. Yeah.
in your journey through college. Can you talk more about how I want to know from as a friend, I just want to know your perspective on how how oh my goodness, how have you dove? Like how did you dive into college not knowing these people and then finding those people? Like what is that like what was the reward that came out of it, I would say.
Oh well, dang, like we just well, I think the first well, like first year, so like for every incoming freshman, we have this thing called Ram Rush, where we're
Mm,
part of a Ram Rush group, and that's how we get to know people and things like that. I got to know one of my very good friends who was my Ram mom. Her name's Allie, and like she's married now, and like that's how I met her sister and a bunch of other good people. And but like I mostly met mostly everybody at Mars Hill, like all the guys and stuff, like my good buddy Reese, and man, like I know a lot of people. There's a bunch of stuff, but like uh so and there were some who made like YouTube channels, vlogs on campus, and like one of them was Micah Olson. And like when I saw so like I first met his sister like when we were signed to be mascots, and then she showed me his channel, and I'm like, I gotta meet this guy. This guy is awesome. And
mm,
so yeah, like that's how I met him, and I met Pearson, who so I these guys also made movies and stuff like that. Like they made a trilogy called Raid. Like so yeah, like the first movie was Raiding Area 51. It started out as a vlog. I'll have to send this to you like later,
yeah. Sounds
and
interesting already.
but yeah, so like and then like when I was coming my freshman year, they made Raid 2, and it was better than the first one. And then like they were starting to do Raid 3. So yeah, like so yeah, then I started making movies and I got them involved. So pretty much all my friends that I've met, they're all in my movies and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, and like we
Great,
all
man.
became like best friends after that and things like that.
Mm.
So yeah, like pretty much everybody that I add in my movie, like I'm gonna know them, like I'm gonna know them like really well and things like that. And so yeah, then they got me involved in Raid 3. I was a sniper in Raid 3. And, yeah, so yeah, like I made a movie, then I did that one, and then my buddy Nate, we had a lot of things in common and stuff like that, like with Marvel, Star Wars, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And so yeah, like we were roommates in the colleges my sophomore year. So freshman year, I roomed in Sanford, which is like one of the best dorms. And
Mm.
my first roommate was Caden, and he was a drummer for Ignite, which is also another ensemble, and they travel all the time.
Mm.
But yeah, like me and him, like we barely talked and stuff. But like he's a great guy, like a really great, like a really great guy. But like we barely hung out and stuff. But like I got him in one of my movies and stuff like that. And then so like with Nate, uh, so yeah, like in the Raid franchise, he plays this guy called the Professor, and he wanted to do a solo movie of his. So like we did that, and I got to help him direct it, and I did the fight choreography and stuff like that. I was a producer, and like I was also in that one, and I was a goon in that one, and um, and then we made Raid 3, and yeah, and then I started doing the Reaper, and then like which I made a trilogy out of that, and it turned out pretty good. And yeah, and oh yeah, and I got so I one of my other friends, Cam and Jewel, he does the video tech stuff for the school. He also makes movies. And I've seen some of his work, and it's really good. And I think for his senior project, he made a movie called like it was based off of a play called Within the Shadows,
Mm.
and it was spot on good. And then he got and then for the film festival, well like it was his idea, and he hosted it, and he made a movie called Olsenheimer. So it was like a parody of Oppenheimer, but like
Right.
one of our professors named Dr. Olsen. This guy's like a huge Star Wars nerd. He's got like a beard, and he's got a lightsaber as his pointer finger and stuff. He's a great guy, and so yeah, like we did that, and so yeah, like I got to hold a boom mic for like one of the scenes.
Mhm.
Like Wedge was pretty cool, and I got to be a extra in that one. So yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, like what's been fun was being a part of all the movies and things like that, and the videos that we did, and like I appear in some of Micah's videos and Nate's videos and things like that. And then I started a YouTube channel, and so yeah, that's pretty much
Nice.
the impact was hanging out with
Oh,
like 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 hanging out with these guys and getting to film videos like with these guys, and it's been amazing. And yeah, like we still stay in touch and things like that. And one of my best friends, who I met through Micah, is Ty, and he's a great guy. And
mhm.
yeah, and but yeah, like most of my friends that I've met, they are all getting married, which is crazy because like everybody gets married throughout college and things like that. And I mean, like it's
Yeah,
like,
it's strange, isn't it?
right? And yeah, like I've been to a few weddings. My first one was Pearson's wedding, and yeah, I cried at that one. I never cried at a wedding ever. I don't know why I cried, but
No,
yeah.
you're good. It's okay. A real man cries, so you're chilling.
And then and then yeah, I went to let's see, I think I went to Allie's wedding after that. And then there was one more I went to. I can't. Oh yeah, it was Ty's wedding, and I was going to go to one of my other friends, David's, but I wasn't able to because I have family plans that came up, and I wasn't able to go. And
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, but now another so like my like one of my uh uh friends from Sanford, Josh Trimble, he's getting married. Like he had just got engaged and yeah, so yeah, things have been going
Awesome,
pretty
man.
good.
Well, you've always been a people maker, friends always, you always made good friends, and I'm happy to hear that, man. I'm happy for you. Coming out of college, I mean, coming out of high school, I had a lot of I had a lot of experience when it came, I guess you could call it experience with like I was never shy. Let's say that. I was never shy. But once I got to college, it was kind of a wake-up call. It was like, wow, like there are a lot of new people here, like goodness. But it was just cool to see that happen and how the Lord works and through other people. And I think that you found a good group of people that will support you in everything that you do, which is also awesome. And I think I can say the same for myself, going to Auburn because like I had maybe my tiny bubble. I mean, our class when we graduated, almost all the people that we knew, usually most of them went to Auburn. And I think that was like a little cool thing because we had a mini enterprise and mini in Auburn. But the
Yeah,
cool thing is like if you know someone in Auburn, then they always know someone else and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I think the Lord has been really, really kind in that sense to the both of us. But I'd encourage you to just continue to build on what you've already gotten. You've got great stuff coming out. You've got great projects ahead of you. You got a great future ahead of you. I can just already tell. And the Lord has been very gracious to the both of us, blessed us with a lot of good people, a lot of good relationships, and a lot of good time with Him. So I would just say continue to encourage you, continue to do that. Love Him before anyone else, and always put Him first. And I think that's success to life. I mean, there's a world out there that wants you to do other things, and I'm so glad that you found a friend group um, that'll lead you towards the Lord rather than, you chasing after the world. I think that was a big, big thing. When I got to college my freshman year, I was trying to decide whether if I should choose the world or if I should choose Jesus. Because on the outside, choosing Jesus looks super boring. You know, um, choosing the world looks much fun because sin is fun.
yeah,
But I found that the most joy that comes out of my life is definitely following Jesus. And I think you could say the same thing with you because once you do that, there are a lot of cool things that pop up that the Lord has planned for you, and it's like unlocking a new achievement per se, like in a video game, you know. But it's been great, man, and I'm so glad we had this conversation.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like we're fixing to run out of time here. Yeah, like we got
absolutely.
like 7 minutes left. So yeah, like would you like to close us out in prayer and close us out with a Bible verse?
Actually, yeah. So this is actually kind of cool because the I'll do both. Daily Bible verse today was Matthew 5:16. If you know that one, I think it's pretty well known, but it says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." So I think if you just tie all that back together, is always be a vessel of the Lord for His kingdom, and hopefully, people who don't know Jesus will see that, and they'll see how loving and how caring and how awesome you are, as a person, and they would be like, "Hey, maybe I want to become like that," because um, the Lord works all the time, but it doesn't matter if you're going through a season where you're just really sad and really, really mad at the world. The Lord finds you in the places where you don't think He will, and I think that's a cool thing, especially if you're a person that radiates the Lord and everything that you do. So yeah, I can close us out in prayer if you want me to.
Yep. Yep.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this time. Thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for blessing me with so many good memories and friends and just just a future that lies ahead, Lord. Your plans are way better than I could have ever imagined, Lord. So Father, I just pray um, that you just continue to bless me and Tyler as we go through our lives. God, thank you for Tyler. Thank you for allowing such a strong and such a kind soul to just to be a vessel of you, God. Just to shout words out into the world, a broken world where it falls on soil and that soil happens to be good because you you've allowed it to be. God, I just continue to pray that you just bless everyone who goes through the crossways between us. We may be going to different universities and different places, Lord, but I just pray that whoever comes about, that you just continue to put your hand on them. We may never know what they're going through, but you always do. You have all the answers. You have the plans set for them, Lord. I just pray that you continue to bless them in the highest, and just I pray that they just give all the praise to you. So Father, would you just look over us and bless anyone who may be listening, God, or watching. Um, Father, I pray for all the unanswered prayers, the prayers that people are saying, but we haven't heard yet, as me and Tyler are on a podcast. But Father, I pray that you answer those prayers and you just bless them. I've seen you do miracles around me, and I know you'll do the same for everyone who believes in you, God. So God, thank you for this time. Thank you for this. Thank you for a brother that I have in Christ, Lord. We praise you in the highest, and we say this in your name. Amen.
All right, man. It's good talking to you. I'll
You
see
too,
you.
Tyler. Yeah, text me if you need anything. All right.